project introduction and the objectives, I have the pleasure of inviting the coordinator of the Clean Energy Seminar. He is also the head of the research group, Advanced Nanomaterials for Clean Energy and Health Applications at the Western Norway University of Applied Sciences. He is a professor in physics and technology at HVL. And without further ado, I have the pleasure of inviting Professor Dhayalan Velauthapillai, Professor in Physics and Technology. Everybody put your hands together for a round of applause.
Dear Honorable State Minister of Finance, Honorable Eran Vikramaratne, His Excellency, the Royal Norwegian Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Honorable Torbjørn Gaustad Satir, Vice Chancellor of Western Norway University of Applied Sciences, Professor Berit Rukner, Vice Chancellor of Jaffna University, Professor Vigneswaran, and distinguished delegates. It's a pleasure for me to stand here and give you a glimpse of what are the activities we have had in our projects. As you all know, historically, we are at a turning point as far as clean energy technologies are concerned. We know that there is going to be an energy demand. The world population is increasing. We have already reached 7.6 billion. By 2040, we are going to be around 9.3 billion. At the same time, today, nearly 17% of the world population, they don't have access to electricity. That is around 1.3 billion people. At the same time, we see all these climatic changes due to carbon dioxide and so forth. So there is an absolute need that we concentrate on, we focus on clean energy technologies. As we all know, the UN, they have these sustainable development goals. Affordable clean energy is one of these 17 goals. So the international community is very much concerned on focusing in clean energy technologies. So we, Norway and Sri Lanka, have obligations to focus on renewable and clean energies as well. So the thing is, as far as Norway is concerned, we are blessed with hydropower. So over 96% of the electricity is produced by hydropower in Norway. So we are in a very good situation. But even though our government and our state is very much focused on shifting our economy to a green economy. At the same time, we know in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan state is very much obliged, and they are very much concerned, and they are working on to be 100% rely on clean energy by 2050. So this is a great ambition, great aim. So to reach these goals, both nations have a lot of challenges to face. So one of the challenges is that we have to educate people. That is very important. We must have a competent workforce in these countries. That is very important. And the second thing is, as we say, the clean energy has to be affordable to everyone. So it has to be cheap. And another important factor is the civil awareness. So these are the main factors we have to work on. So in that case, I feel that the universities around the world, universities in Sri Lanka and universities in Norway, we have a role to play. And at the same time, the private sector has a role to play as well. So we have to work together. So in that case, we got a collaborative project. We got some funding from NORPART program from Norway to collaborate with University of Jaffna. We received it last year. And then we saw that we needed capacity building at University of Jaffna. At the same time, we thought that we need input from the private sector. So we aim to establish a research consortium which consists of both representatives from academia, and of course from the private sector. That is our great main aim now. So we received a funding from the Norwegian Embassy. We are very much thankful to our ambassador, Honorable Ambassador. He was very keen that we work together with the industries, the private sector, and we must, the research which we carry on at the universities, it must go in hand with the industry. Because the universities, we can't just, the researchers, we can't just work in laboratories and just produce something which is not usable for the public. So in that case, to have innovations, new products and new ideas, we need input from the industry. We need you all, the industry people, and we need you as mentors, we need you as supervisors, we need your projects. We could solve the universities in Sri Lanka and Norway. We will be able to give you some technical solution for your problems. In that case, we also need our students to be placed in your companies. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. If we want to succeed in clean energy technologies, we have to work together. So that is our aim. So I would love to show some of these. We are working with University of Peradeniya as well. We are collaborating with the University of Peradeniya. At the same time, we are collaborating with Coimbatore Institute of Technology in India as well. So some of the main aspects I want to show here. For the past 1.5 years, we have been having 2 projects in Norway. We have had student mobility, staff mobilities. We have had joint supervision. We have had educational training among school children in Jaffna. We have had infrastructure development of University of Jaffna. We are building a new clean energy lab there. Thank you to the University of Jaffna providing us some funds, and the Ministry of Higher Education as well in Sri Lanka. They have provided us some funds to build it. And thanks to the Norwegian Embassy for providing us equipments. And we will be opening it on Friday in Jaffna. So we have had a lot of dissemination activities as well. There are some glimpses here. These are students from Sri Lanka. They were in Norway at HVL. And the important thing is they get exposure to an international environment, other type of laboratories and so forth. It is very important in research. And what are we working on? Yes, as I said, it is very important that we work on affordable clean energy technologies. In that sense, we had to work on other type technologies. So we thought that we had to consider new nanomaterials which can be used to produce lightweight and flexible solar cells which can be placed wherever, maybe on the doorsteps, maybe on the walls, maybe on your t-shirts, on jackets, and so forth. So we are working on this. We are working on nanomaterials, and we synthesize, and we do simulations as well. At the same time, we see there's in Sri Lanka as well, we had a lot of meetings yesterday in Sri Lanka. We see that we need some storage capacities. So one of the solutions may be hydrogen. Hydrogen and batteries, of course, but hydrogen may be a solution. Then, of course, we have to work with nanomaterials. So that of course, we intend to do. So maybe in the future, we'll work on hydrogen as well. We have some enterprises. We have 14 enterprises from Norway here. Some of these companies are working with hydrogen. So I hope that this will lead to more hydrogen-related research in Sri Lanka in collaboration with Norway. And we have had a lot of seminars in Norway and in Sri Lanka, and in India we had a conference. And I'm thankful to the University of Jaffna that they have worked with us to make a new master degree curriculum in clean energy technologies at the University of Jaffna. So it will be great, I think. And we'll be opening this clean energy lab at the University of Jaffna on Friday. And I think I am very proud that Jaffna Science Association joined hands with University of Jaffna and HVL to have educational training for the young children in Jaffna. It is very important that we educate the children already when they are when they go in 9th grade, 10th grade, and so forth, so that they have an awareness on clean energy technologies. In that sense, they must have some hands-on experience. They must work with the cells. They must work with fuel cells and so forth. So that, of course, we were able to do in Jaffna. We had a campaign. Nearly 2,700 students took part in these activities. And finally, what is the objective of this delegation? We have a delegation. They are visiting Sri Lanka for the past 1 week, from 5th of May. So what are our objectives? First, the objective is to know the ground situation in Sri Lanka, to get some in-depth knowledge on what are the regulations are in Sri Lanka and so forth. So we had some fruitful meetings yesterday, and we got a lot of information. So that is, we are very much thankful for all the organizations which we met yesterday. And the second important objective is to establish an arena to present the Norwegian and Sri Lankan private sector working on clean energy technologies such as solar, wind, and hydrogen. That is the second objective. The third is to facilitate a meeting place for academia and private sector in the field of clean energy technologies. The fourth is to facilitate and motivate the private sector and universities from Norway and Sri Lanka to initiate future partnerships. We can have, as I said, we can have your projects at our universities, and we could send our students to your place. So we must have some joint ventures, some MOUs, and so forth. So today is the starting day. I hope that we will have a database of these companies who are here, and you all have got this pamphlet. All the information of the Norwegian companies are here. So now it is possible for the private sector here in Sri Lanka to contact our counterparts in Norway, vice versa. And the universities could have some discussions later on. And I hope that in the future, we will be able to establish a research consortium, which consists of not only the academia, but the private sector as well.